Good morning, YouTube. All right, we're gonna make cabbage rolls, but we're gonna do it in a way that means we don't have to work real hard. We're gonna get all the flavor and very little effort from really a nutritional powerhouse. All right, let's cook, y'all. We got a family to feed. All right, so this is another one of those dishes that's so easy it's almost embarrassing, but it's, you know, this one's so good, you know, we're gonna go with it. Okay, so kind of was wanting cabbage rolls, but the problem with cabbage rolls, I don't do well with them. I don't roll them well. I always end up with kind of a mess, and so I was poking around online and I saw somebody who had called it was deconstructed cabbage rolls, or no, I think that's the name Kinsley and I came up with. They were calling it Cabbage Roll Casserole, and I'm like, okay, I gotcha, I can do this. Anyway, tastes exactly like cabbage rolls. It's absolutely delicious. It goes together in moments, and so this is just a winner all around. All right, I'm going to show you the ingredients, and then I'm going to turn around and start sauteing. All right, so here we have a pound of ground beef, right? And you can use up to 2 pounds. This is just what I have. This is pretty lean. This is 93% lean and only 7% fat. So I've got a tablespoon of olive oil over here in my big skillet getting hot because I'm going to brown this first, okay? Got about 3 cups of leftover cooked rice. 1 large onion I diced up. This is 1 can of diced tomatoes and 2 cans of tomato sauce. About half of a cabbage that I chopped up. Okay, and then over here we've got our seasoning. So kosher salt, black pepper, 2 tablespoons of oregano, dried, 1 tablespoon of dried thyme, and about a teaspoon of crushed red pepper flake. All right. So first step, I'm just going to brown the ground beef. That will take just a few minutes. I'm not going to make you watch browning ground beef, but I do want to get a lot of color on it and develop some nice flavor through that. So I am going to take my time and be a little bit patient. So we're probably giving this a good 10 minutes. All right, I'll show you what it looks like when we are on the other side of that. All right, so our ground beef is browned off nicely, and because this one has such a low fat content, there's not a whole lot of anything to drain, so I'm not even going to bother. I'm just going to, boom, it's in there. All right, so now we're going to add our onion, and we're going to let our onion sweat. And then, you know what, guys? I realized I had forgotten a couple of our spices a minute ago. So I added 2 spices, which I'll show you here in a second. I added a couple of teaspoons of garlic powder and a couple of teaspoons of onion powder, right? So I'm going to actually turn this up a little bit. See if we can't get him working a little harder. All right, so at this point, I'm adding our spices. So garlic powder, onion powder, red pepper flakes. I didn't want to come out. Okay. Oregano. It's a lot of oregano, but I love it. Black pepper. There's our dried thyme. And I'm going to go with a couple of teaspoons of kosher salt, and then I'm going to taste it and see how we're doing. Okay. Last time I made this, I think I did add salt. No, you know what? I didn't add any more salt to the pot. I added it to my own. All right, so I'm going to give this just a couple minutes, and then just throw the rest of this together. I mean, literally, throw it together. Well, not literally throw. I'm going to figuratively throw it together. Alrighty, next step. We're going to take our cabbage, and I'll show you what this looks like in a second. We just gave the onions, like, I don't know, probably not even quite 5 minutes, just to soften up a little bit. And then we're going to add the cabbage and the tomatoes and stir it all together. And our rice is already cooked, so we're going to hold off until the very end to add our rice. So that was 1 can, woo, I almost overflowed the pot. That was 1 can of diced tomatoes and 2 cans of tomato sauce. Now, you can change that ratio any way you want. I happen to, for some reason, I don't know why, but Bladen decided to open a gallon can of tomato sauce in order to use like half a cup. So I've been, teenagers, right? You can't kill them, no matter how much you might want to. So I had to go, that's why we were using out of the container. That was the last little bit of that giant can of tomato sauce that we had to use up. Because we don't waste food. I'm not sure what he was doing. Sometimes teenagers just don't have brains, right? That's why they have moms. Okay, so this is all this is. And we're gonna let this go, just like this. Bring it up to a simmer, and then let it simmer for about 20 minutes, just right here in the skillet. I'm not gonna put a top on it or anything. I'm gonna let all these flavors just kind of come together. That cabbage will wilt down a little bit. Those spices, those herbs will all bloom and start to come together. Oh, you know what? I have one more ingredient I forgot about. I try my best to get prepped ahead, but y'all, sometimes when I'm in the moment, that's when I remember stuff. Alright, so to make this really taste like cabbage rolls, I was mimicking a low, long simmered sauce, right? And one of the secret ingredients to my tomato sauce is anchovy paste. And so I'm added a little bit of anchovy paste. Not much. You won't taste anchovies. No freaking out. So a teaspoon or two. That's all it takes. Alright, so I'm going to stir that in. And that's going to help make it taste like this sauce just simmered forever. This does not taste like a dish that you figuratively throw together. I'm watching too much. Let me snick it. Alright, I'll show you what it looks like in a bit. Alright, we are simmering at a pretty fair clip. Hello, Ricky. He will not speak on camera. We've had about 20 minutes and the cabbage has softened. I've probably eaten half of it while it was cooking. I adore cabbage. I'm just picking it right out of the skillet. Alright, so here's where we're going to add our rice. So we've got right at 3 cups of leftover rice. I wouldn't stress too much about exact measurements here, guys, because whatever amount of rice you have left over, that's the amount you need, right? I love this because not only does it taste phenomenal, it really, especially if you just use the little bit of beef, the 1 pound of the 93%, it's really super lean, and it's loaded with vegetables. I mean, it's cabbage and it's tomatoes, and I bet if you use, if you were virtuous, you could use brown rice. Wow, that really would be kind of a move. But my favorite part of this entire dish is actually the cabbage, so there we go. I'm wondering if I could do a vegetarian version and leave the beef out entirely. It does add a lot of good flavor, I will say. Alright guys, here we go. This is what we look like at this point, right? Yes! And let me tell you, the flavor is phenomenal. It does, it tastes just like cabbage rolls, which I think is amazing because we want the fabulous flavor of the comfort food, but we don't want to work hard, right? Okay, let's see how we did. I know how we did. I've been eating it all the whole time it was cooking. Guys, if you're gonna eat, you should eat well. And this is eating well. You need to try this one. Dirt cheap, super healthy. Ticks all the boxes. Love it. Hey YouTube, thanks for watching, and if you thought that video was helpful, do me a huge favor. Hit like, hit subscribe, hit the little bell so you get a notification whenever I post a new video. And if you have a second, hop on over to Patreon and check out how to support my channel even more. Again, thanks for watching.